I'm Teresa Hagan with Ask Resource Center. I'm your room host today, along with Laura Jess. She's wandering around outside there trying to finagle other people to come in, I think. Your presenter today is Horace Kovacevic. And I just want to remind you real quick before he starts, you have a yellow evaluation form in your folder. If you could please fill that out, it helps us a great deal, and we would really appreciate that. But please give a warm welcome to Horace.
Thank you. I'm fully anticipating getting a bunch of strongly disagrees on that survey, and I encourage you to tell them not to invite me again next year. That's normally what happens when I do these kinds of events, so I won't take any offense to it. It's perfectly fine. So, I'm Horace. I work at Easterseals, Iowa. You're going to hear a little bit about the program that I facilitate at Easterseals in my partnership with an insurance company called Athene. We'll talk more specifics about that partnership towards the end of the presentation, but there's a lot of buildup that went into building the program that I'm going to share with all of you as well. Just a couple of disclaimers, things you should know about me. I'm loud, I'm obnoxious, I have a potty mouth sometimes. I make fun of myself a lot. Please, you don't have to ask me if I'm doing okay. I promise you I am. At some point in time, at least one person is going to say, Horace, are you really okay? Are you sure you're okay? I promise you I really am. It's just my humor. It's just a tool. It's just something that I do. What else should you know about me? Let's see here. I have my licensure in social work, which means professionally, I should have become a therapist, but that sounds incredibly boring to me right now, so I do this instead. I like jobs with a lot of variety. I like to be on my feet. I like to not know what I'm going to do every single workday, and you might think, wow, why would you ever want that? Well, I don't know, but that's just where we landed, right? I'm not saying I'll never become a therapist, but at least right now, I don't want to do that. So, all right. That's everything that I think you should know about me before we even get started. Okay, let's see here. There it is. Great. All right. So I got a quick, short introduction about what is Easterseals and what do we do. All of our programs will. This is our mission statement. I jumped to my next slide already. This is our mission statement, right? 100% DEI for all people with disabilities, regardless of what the disability is. That not only goes for the individual, but for their families as well. Oh, how interesting. Some of them are blue and some of them are yellow. Huh. They should all be yellow. Anyways, these are the 4 categories of Easterseals services. Live, learn, work, play. We're probably best known for that play category. If you're familiar with Easterseals, you probably know about our camp program. That's just one thing that we do. There's a lot more to it than that. Somewhere all of our programs fall within these categories. My program would fall under work. Now, I have a strong bias to tell you all that work is the most important category. Okay? And here's why. Take it or leave it. I don't know how to live, learn, and play without work, right? Especially as an adult. It only gets harder and harder and harder to do those other 3 things without employment of some kind, right? So yeah, that's how I feel about our services. This is theoretically what you'll be learning from me today. Now, this is more aspirational than anything else. I have a lot of talking points. I have a lot to say, and I'll use up every single minute that you have with me today. But what I am most curious to do here today is really get to know, what do you want to know from me, right? These are all things that I can talk about today, and I can teach you about, what's the role of a job coach? How do you partner with a job coach? How did I partner with Athene? How do I get done at Athene what I want to get done? You're going to learn a lot from all of those things as well. But I'm really a lot more curious to be interacting with you and answering the questions that are most important to you, right? So I'm really encouraging you and inviting you to interact with me throughout this process. In fact, I'm kind of going to force you to do a lot of interacting with me. So you're not really going to even have a choice. I'm just warning you that I'm going to be asking you a lot of questions, and then we're just going to have a long dialogue and conversation about these topics, okay? So, what else should you know about me and before we really get going? Nope, I think I did a good job covering it all. All right, so in front of you is some pens and some paper. There's also my business cards. Please feel free to take my business cards and reach out to me after today. If we run out of business cards and we need more, I got a whole box. Fun fact, the logo on that business card is wrong. I get often asked, hey, Horace, you work at Easterseals? Are you a part of team? No, I'm actually not. It's just the wrong logo, and I'm too shy to go back to my boss and say, please print me new business cards. So that is not my logo in any way, shape, or form, but yeah. So at any rate, if we need more pens and we need more paper, I have it up here. Again, you're going to be forced to use the pens and the paper, so you might as well just grab them right now. Okay, all right. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, remember, audience interaction, I'm going to force it upon you in some ways, is we're going to do a quick activity. So we're here to talk about employment, right? We're here to talk about job coaching and what does that mean and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to role play right now being an employer, and all of you are my employees. And I'm going to assign you a task. All of you are going to do this task, okay? Because we have been hired by one of our constituents to draw a pig. And they want us to give them the best pig drawing we can come up with. Okay? Right? Okay? All right. So we have 4 instructions. Okay? And the instructions for this pig drawing is it needs to be in landscape position. The head needs to be on the left. The tail needs to be on the right. And the pig should have a name. Okay? So take some time drawing a pig with those instructions. All right, this is what we got from our constituent, our customer. I'm going to go around, and if there's some brave souls who are willing to share how their pig has been drawn, I will let you know whether we accomplished the pig drawing that our customer was looking for. Okay? I'll give you some time. I'll wander a little bit. I won't go through every single person's pig, but there's about 6 tables here, so maybe we'll get through 6 pigs. Maybe 1 per table. Yeah. Just a brave soul, perhaps, per table. So, I'm your employer. You're my employee. We were hired to draw a pig. Pig should be in landscape. Head's on the left, tail's on the right. It needs to be named. And I will let you know whether we drew the pig correctly or not. All right. So before I start to go around and start to look at some pigs here, one per table. We'll see if we can find any brave souls. Some other things you should know about me, right? I mentioned I have my licensure in social work. So when I was getting my master's degree from the University of Iowa, I developed a reputation amongst my classmates and my professors that I really hated employers, and I still do. I really loved research. Research was my favorite class. Everyone else hated that class, but I absolutely loved it. Now when I read academic journals, I just go straight to all the charts and the graphs, and I don't even read anything else. So I just love data. But something you should know about me, all my research efforts and all of my academic reading has been related to job satisfaction and burnout and things of that nature. So I spend a lot of time thinking about that stuff as a service provider with my clients and also in my partnership with Athene. So I'm really trying to instill some of those same things in you. I would consider it a success of mine if you leave here with more questions than answers. In some way, shape, or form, I kind of do want you to reach out to me after today. But in other ways, I also want you just to keep thinking about this stuff, right? I mean, this material does, the way that it's being presented here today, if I presented it 5 years from now, my talking points are going to be completely different. I can do this activity, and it's going to change over time because the world is going to change over time. So I want you to keep thinking about all of these things as you leave today. If you have more questions than answers, I actually would consider that a success. Something else that you should know about me, if I had to put myself in a camp of some kind of like what kind of service provider am I, I'm going to divide social workers into two categories. Top-down approaches and bottom-up approaches. It would be the difference between the relationship with the body and the mind, how the mind influences the body, that would be the top-down, or the bottom-up is the exact opposite, how the body influences the mind. So this presentation is all top-down, but the more time you spend with me, the more of that bottom-up you're going to hear. And that's where my bias is as a service provider, is in those bottom-up strategies, okay? So know that if we continue interacting after today, you're probably not going to hear a lot of this information from me. We're just barely scratching the surface. I think if you really want to do something new and something different in the employment space, we have to talk more about the bottom-up strategies, right? How the body influences the mind. So something else that you should know about me. All right, I'm going to start with this table over here. Do I have a brave soul over here who's willing to share their pig? And I'll let you know if our customer is going to like it or not. Well, it is in landscape position. The head is on the left. The tail is on the right. You did name it Purdy Girl. Okay, you followed the instructions, but this is still not the pig that our customer is looking for. It's got two eyeballs, which means it's looking right at me, directly into my soul, and I don't like thinking about that because that means I have to consider my pig's mortality right before I use it for bacon, and I can't be doing that. Your pig is happy, but it's a little too happy. And I can't have a pig that's too happy because then I'm thinking about my pig's mortality right before I use it for bacon. You have triangular ears, which is good. Our customer likes triangular ears, but they really would have preferred if the feet were also shaped like triangles. Your tail has two squiggles, which is too many squiggles, okay? Too many squiggles. Thank you for trying, but this is not the pig our customer was looking for. Next employee, please. This table over here. Oh, someone really doesn't want to. Okay, all right. How dare you? This pig is named Horace. Wow. Okay, all right. That's fine. That's fine. No, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. Landscape position. Did you intentionally draw a landscape? Yeah? Yeah? Because the instruction was landscape position? Oh, I mean, it's a nice touch. Unnecessary, but it's a nice touch. Head's on the left, tail's on the right. We already covered the name. Triangular ears, that's good. Did you add these triangular feet after I Okay, all right. What about the, did the tail always have one squiggle? Oh, okay. Well, nice work. Nice try. This is still not the pig we're looking for. 2 eyeballs, you know the whole deal with the bacon and the mortality. Okay, how about this group over here? Let's give it a try. Okay, landscape position. The head is on the left, the tail's on the right. DJT is the name. Okay, all right. I think I know what that stands for. We won't get political. Your pig is, well, let's just cover the basics here. The ears aren't triangular. It only has 2 feet. The proper amount of feet on a pig is 4. They're also not triangular. Well, actually, maybe you do have 4. They're just like sticks. I can't really tell. But bottom line is, this is not the pig our customer's looking for. 2 eyes, the whole mortality thing. We don't want to be thinking about all that. 2 squiggles is wrong. Nice landscape, unnecessary detail. Okay, next victim. Who wants to show their pig over here? You got a brave soul over here? Okay, all right, great. Well, it's in landscape position. The head is on the right. The tail is on the left. I'm not sure if it has is the name Technoblade? Okay. I was about to say, you wrote an entire paragraph, and I don't think that would make a very good name. I think your pig is crying. Is it crying? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. It's not happy. It's not too happy, which is good, right? We don't want to be thinking about the pig's mortality, but it does have 2 eyeballs, so now I am thinking about the pig's mortality, and I can't be doing that because I don't want to be doing all that. Okay. Not the pig we were looking for. Let's try over here. We have someone volunteering a pig over here. Do you know this person? Oh, she pointed at you. I just assumed you would know each other. Oh, okay. Well, how rude of you to point at someone you don't even know. Okay, sure. Okay, very good. You're right. You're right. I agree, but it's not the pig our customer's looking for, right? Landscape position, yeah, sure. Head on the left, okay, fine. Tail on the right, yep, The name is Karen, but it's got 2 eyeballs, so that means it's looking right at me, and I'm thinking about its mortality, and I don't want to be doing that. Yeah, that whole thing. It's got triangular, we'll call those triangles, I guess, I think. Too many squiggles in the tail. 3 is too many. The feet should be also triangular. Thank you for trying, but this is not the pig that our customer was looking for. I'll spare you. How about that? I think, even without going through the last table, we get the idea, right? Yeah? Okay. What just happened? This is why I said you were going to give me a negative review, right? I know. So what just happened? Something about communication? Okay. I didn't communicate all the details. Like what? Sure. Okay. I had some specific details that I chose not to share until after you attempted to draw the pig. Okay. Good. Okay. What else just happened? Oh, sure. I just said get to work, and you didn't get an opportunity to ask questions. Okay, yep, very good, very good. What else? Yeah, I did it in front of a group. It's not like I pulled you into a conference room separately to say, yeah, no. Yeah, right? No, I did it in front of you, in front of all the peers. How did that feel? It hurt. Yeah, you were the first one to go, right? So you got the worst of it. Yeah, everyone else knew what was coming, so they were like protecting their pigs, and I know it's going to be wrong just based upon the first one. Yep. Keep going. Go ahead. Sure. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's going to have a different interpretation of some of these things. Yep. Especially like you want me to take a look at that one? no, not the pig we're looking for. I'll spare your mom. I won't go through the whole spiel. Go ahead. Sure. In what way? Okay. Sure, sure, sure. Yeah, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Yeah, normally most of the time when I go around and I do this, I find at least one person who doesn't draw a body, right? Because I didn't say draw a body, right? Yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, go ahead. I did have an expectation. Yep, yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Speaking of that future resentment, like if I actually asked you, fulfilled all of your needs with answering your questions, giving you more detail, and so on and so forth, how likely do you think you would be to draw a pig a second time? You think so? Does everyone feel that way? Oh, okay. Sure, 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 sure. Okay. Ah, okay, okay. Got it, got it, got it. I'll head over here. Ah. Ah, yeah, sure. Conflicting messages. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. Very true. I've done this activity for 3 years, and I've never had anyone point that out. That's a good one. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. 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 No, that's a great point. Valid point. No, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Uh huh. Sure. Right. 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 Yeah, right. Why would you want to be the next victim? Right. No one wants that. Right. 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 Okay. Um, for those of us who have jobs, I mean, how often do we get asked to do tasks like this and receive feedback in this particular manner? Someone said always. Yeah. Recently? Daily? Sure. Ah, okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. 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 Sure. Sure. Okay. Very good. Yeah, go ahead. Sure. Sure. Yeah. Ooh, how manipulative. Yeah. Ugh. Gosh. Ugh. Man. Okay. So for some of us, exercises like this is not just an activity. It is what happens in the workplace, right? So you've covered pretty much everything that I wanted you to get out of this activity. We even touched upon some things that I've not heard before, which was really good too. So let's see here. I've got a second set of instructions up here. And here's my question for you. If I had given you these instructions instead of the four, would have you been able to draw this pig? Task 1 says, draw a letter M at the top left intersection. Task 2, draw a letter W at the bottom left intersection. Draw a W at the bottom right intersection. Draw arc from letter M to top right intersection, right? Okay, so that's just how it continues to go. So if you were to ask me for more details and I would have provided you with this instead of my original instructions, do you think you would have been able to draw the pig? Why not? It's worse. What makes it worse? Where's the intersection? Yeah, okay. Well, the intersection has to do with this grid. The grid that I didn't give you. No, not at all. I did not. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But you know where it starts to say draw a letter M at the top left intersection, that's somewhere up here. And where it says draw a W at the bottom left intersection, that's somewhere here. And where it starts talking about draw an arc between the two M's and the two W's, right? That's somewhere here through the middle. If I would have given you those instructions and talked about this grid and how to use the grid, your pig would have looked like this. Happy but not too happy. It's not staring in my soul. I'm not thinking about its mortality. It's got one squiggle. You see the triangle ears and the triangle feet. I didn't ridicule anyone's nose, but I also didn't tell you that most of you drew the correct nose, right? Yeah, go ahead. Where is the name? It doesn't have a name. You're right. It doesn't have a name. It doesn't. It's Horace. Yep, you're right. Great. You're right. Now seeing this pig, if I were to ask you to draw this pig, you think you'd be able to do it? Okay. All right. So we've covered what is the purpose of this activity, right? When I think about communication or say communication out loud, what do you all think of when I say the word communication? Okay, what do you mean by direct or indirect? Okay. Okay. Mm. Okay, so say what you mean, right? Right. Sure. I totally understand, right? I agree. What else are you all thinking about when I say the words communication? Okay, verbal and nonverbal, sure. Give us some examples if you have any. Sure. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Some people even just prefer to read something or read a set of instructions as opposed to hearing them verbally, right? Okay. Yep. Anything else you all are thinking of when I say the word communication? We'll come up here first and then we'll come back there. What about conversation? Okay. So speaker, listener, and like the transition between, okay, I just finished speaking and now it's your turn, that kind of thing. Okay. And what about back here? Yeah. Questions and answers. Right. Go ahead. What else do you think of when you say when? Ah. Sure. You're right. Someone's intention may not be well conveyed through their verbal or non-verbal communication, and the message might get lost by the recipient or vice versa, right? Yep. I totally understand where you're coming from. Yeah. Anything else? Ah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. When I ask you about communication, it's easier to come up with examples of miscommunication, right? Bad communication is easier to talk about than good communication. Yep. Okay. All right. What about when I say the word expectations? What do you think of when I say expectations? Okay. Sure. Yeah. So, what are the various tasks that are assigned to you that you are accountable for that maybe somebody else isn't accountable for, or maybe a different group of people aren't accountable for? Sure. Okay. What else comes to mind when I say expectations? Sure. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Very true. Expectations goes both ways, right? I often teach my clients when we talk about job interviews to think of it less as the employer interviewing them and more so that they're interviewing their future employer. So I understand what you're saying. I agree. Anything else about communicate or expectations? Sure. Yeah. Yeah. It'll vary by context. Expectations in school are different than expectations in a workplace. Expectations in a workplace are going to vary based upon what's the service that's being provided, right? So my partners are mostly in the insurance industry. So that's going to look a very different set of expectations than a job at a grocery store, right? Oh, I guess. I mean, it's not my laptop, and it's also appears to be plugged in. Let's take a quick detour. Let's see here. We'll see. I do this presentation on a regular basis. I don't even need the PowerPoint anymore. So if it dies, it dies. Okay, resources. What do you think of when I say the word resources? Help? Like what? Okay. Uh, Training. Okay. Mentors. Okay. Some sort of support partners. Materials that yeah. Like I could have given you all of those instructions in that grid in advance, right? I had them all. I set you up for failure because I didn't give you the resources in advance, right? Okay. Policies and procedures. What do you mean by that? Sure. Okay. Okay. Policies and procedures. Yes, very good. Right. Trying to create some sort of predictability. If this happens, then we do this kind of thing. Right. What else? Go ahead. Oh, okay. Someone who works in human resources could be a resource. In what way? Okay. Sure. Yeah. Hey, human resources person. I am really struggling with logging into my computer. Who do I reach out to? Hey, human resources person, I need to take a day off. What do I do? Right? Okay. Yep. Great examples. Sure. Okay. Sure. So it's not just like access. Well, maybe that is exactly what you're talking about. Access. Or if they don't exist, creating them. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah. That's a great one. Yeah. Like getting to work, getting back home from work. Yep. Oh, yep. All right. Last lesson about the pig activity is about feedback. What do you think of when I say the word feedback? Corrections. Okay. That is exactly what I was doing, right? When not in a very kind way. Yeah. Okay. What else do you think of when I say feedback? Editing. Okay. In what way? Okay. Just getting rid of stuff that's not needed or unnecessary. Okay, great. Over here. Ah, yeah. Not just at the end. Perhaps doing it during the process. Yep. Sure. Yeah, maybe I could have, after you all turned your paper to landscape position, we could have stopped and paused like, wait, is it landscape or is it not landscape? Right? Um, did you draw the head on the left? Right? We could have all stopped and paused. Yeah, great. Yeah. Okay, so in some way, shape, or form, all of my advice and my feedback is going to be really related to these four categories, right? Um, when I talk about communication and expectations and resources and feedback, it is exactly what you have all just said, okay? When I think about communication, I think about saying what you mean without being mean when you say it, yeah? That kind of ties in communication and feedback in together, right? There's a strong overlap, I think, between those two. When I think about expectations, I think about what am I committing to when someone asks me to do something? Am I actually capable of doing said thing? Is it the first time I'm going to do it? If it is, maybe I should let them know in advance. I'm willing to do that thing that you just asked me to do, but I want you to know it's the first time I'm about to do it, right? Just to give you an example of what I'm referring to when I think of expectations. Resources, we covered that one a lot as well. I'm not just talking about what's available, I'm talking about what's missing. I'm talking about getting feedback on if they're actually even useful or not. And feedback, right? I mean, the way that I went around doing the feedback portion of that pig activity made it so that it was much less likely that anyone would do a second drawing. It also made it much less likely that you would ever tell me that you are encountering some sort of problem, right? There's a lot to be learned. That activity was probably the best example of what not to do in these categories that you'll ever receive, right? Before I move on to the next slide, questions, comments, concerns on any of these topics so far? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, the individuals that we serve in our communities, I mean, that's an everyday experience for a lot of people, right? I think that requires a really skilled professional to help businesses navigate. I'm keeping this very general and specific to employment opportunities, right? I think that yep. So I think businesses should consult with more people like me, right? Uh, but shameless plug. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I could spend the next hour answering that question. I have so many ways to answer that question. Hopefully, the rest of the presentation will give you some insight to that. But I think I believe in the see one, do one, teach one principle. So finding a way to demonstrate a task, having someone do that task in front of you, and then teaching someone else how to do that task goes a long way to show skill development. Sure. Yeah. I guess an interview interesting. Okay. I'll have to think about that. I'll come back to that one towards the end. I'm going to think about the answer to that. I think there's a way assistive technology can assist with that. Okay. Okay. Let's chat some more after. I think I really want to get you an answer to that question. I just need to think about it a little bit. I think I have an answer. Okay, let's see. Oh, lost my mouse. Okay, so thoughts on how these categories or the things that we just talked about might apply to the role of a job coach? Any ideas? Okay, for sure, for sure. Yes, I agree. So, in some way, shape, or form, the purpose of a job coach is to find a need at an employer and find someone who can fill that need. Yeah? Okay. Great answer. Great answer. What else might be the role of a job coach? Okay. Sure. Yes. Yes. For sure. For sure. For sure. A job coach can assist in the early stages of training, but also during when training is over, right? That retention aspect, right? Okay. Yes. Great answer. Great answer. Yes. Yeah, sure, sure. A job coach is also there to support the employer as well. Just as much as they're there to support the client, they should support the employer as well. I totally agree. I totally agree. All right. So I'm gonna keep on thinking my mouse is back here. I think I'll just put it back here. So here's what I'm gonna divide the roles of job coaches into 5 different categories. We've kind of already covered them very loosely already. That acquisition phase, right? It's that time where people are deciding what kind of work am I looking for, what is in my interest, right? So we're talking a lot about resume writing, interview practice. We're talking a lot about filling out job applications and things of that nature. That's that acquisition phase, right? That can take a long period of time. Perhaps that takes up the bulk of a time for a job coach, is this acquisition phase. It's just finding the right employer, finding the right job. Depending upon who your service provider is, that job is not related to job coaching. It's related to someone called a job developer. And I don't want to get too much into the weeds of all of that, but what it really just comes down to is how is a service provider reimbursed for services? Because our state doesn't allow for job development and job coaching at the same time. So at any rate, we don't need to talk about funding and all of that stuff, but just know that when you're in this acquisition phase, depending upon where you live and who you're receiving services from, you might be interacting with a job developer during acquisition and not a job coach. Onboarding is going to be, how does an employer or a job coach prepare someone for their very first day of work? Yes, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I think you should just phrase it exactly that way. I think you do just. I think you did just great. Personally, no, quite honestly, quite. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Are you a job developer or are you a job coach? Just complete transparency. That is my 100% recommendation. If you are going to, if you want to know what service are you providing, I would just ask it. The person standing in front of me, are you a job coach or are you a job developer, right? And if that person's a job developer and you don't know what the areas of interest in, right? Just say to the job developer, we need a job. We don't know what that job is yet, right? We don't know what those interests are. Job developers have a lot of resources in finding areas of interest and things of that nature. Great question. Thank you for asking. Yes. Um, a lot of it has to do with where you're located, where you live. So, like the central Iowa area funds job development and job coaching a little bit differently than some of the rural areas around here. So, it really depends on where you live. Some individuals are going to get encouraged to go to a place like Iowa Vocational Rehabilitation Services and get counseling through there. Sometimes a place like that will contract out their services to a place like Easterseals. Okay, so that is about as specific as I can get without asking you what's your address. But if you have a specific question, you can follow up with me afterwards, and I can give you a more specific answer. Yeah, I do. Yeah, yeah. I talk to IVRS every single day. Okay. I mean, I can't comment further, other than just say, okay, sure, understandable. I mean, I'm sure if you ask enough people about me, they would tell you I'm also not very helpful. So, it is what it is. I told you someone was going to ask it. I told you someone was going to ask it. I told you. I promise I'm okay. I promise I'm okay. Okay, great. Any other questions I can answer at this point in time? Yeah, no, please do. This is what I want. Also depends on where you live. So for example, at Easter Seals, we have a program that works specifically with teenagers. That's the team program. That logo, that is not actually what I'm associated with. That's actually the teenage program that Easter Seals provides for students within Des Moines Public Schools. Yep, 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 yep. Yeah, 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 for sure. Great question. Great question. Yeah, great question. Great question. So that's going to depend upon the service provider. At least at Easter Seals, I mean, our job developers provide job coaching services just like anybody else, right? So, but our job coaches do not do job development, right? And that just comes down to skill set, to need. And a lot of it has to do with this transition during onboarding, right? After someone agrees to do a specific job, our job developers stick around during that onboarding phase before they pass off to a job coach. And how long that transition period is going to vary by service provider, right? Some individuals might need only, 1 hour of support during onboarding, and other people might need the entire shift. Other people might need multiple shifts, right? Just really, I mean, that answer is specific to the client and to the service provider. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh huh. Great question, great question. So, I mean, Iowa Vocational Rehabilitation Services is, I mean, a great place to start if you don't know where else to start. School counselors are a great place to start if you don't know where else to start. I think in our state, at least, there's been a really big push for especially high school counselors to provide a lot of career development, conversation, and things of that nature. So, yeah, yeah, yeah. S- Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, yeah. You can still reach out to IVRS. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yep. Sure, sure, sure. Yep, 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 yep. Yeah, go ahead. Yep. Yes. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Uh, Iowa Vocational Rehabilitation Services is our state's safety net for anyone regardless of age. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. 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 Yeah. Most of my clients are well beyond the age of 21. So I'm not aware of any reason why she would lose her job coaching services at that particular age. I see. Interesting. Quite sad. Um, I'd probably reach out at the state level, specific to your person. Okay. Great. 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 Very good. Very good. We got 10 minutes left. What else do you want to know from me? That's a great question, and it really, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, when I first started partnering with Athene, my first question to them is, who do you know who has a disability? And those were the first people that we brought in, right? So I just tried to find natural advocates within that organization and start with just hiring people that already have an in that particular way. Yeah, I mean, the people at Athene who've been hired through me do a customer service job. The 11 of them do. The other 5 work in the IT department. So I mean, we're not, we're talking about some very highly skilled jobs, right? So I mean, which is not uncommon for our community, right? We know that there are many individuals who are capable of doing a lot of really awesome things. Um, so I'm certainly don't want you to feel like to lose any hope because I say it's a customer service job or it's an IT job. Does that make sense? Yeah. Sure. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. For sure. For sure. That goes back to the communication stuff, right? She's only, especially individuals in our community, the quality of work is going to be directly related to the quality of instruction, right? Yeah. Yeah. That's a great question. At this time, I only consult with Athene. If you know of anyone else who wants to consult with me, I mean, you're welcome to send them my way. I'll talk to anybody about anything. Um, both. It just depends. It just depends. It just depends. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, Hy-Vee's a very, very strong advocate for this community. Absolutely. I totally agree. With a wide variety of jobs, different departments. A lot of our clients end up working there as well. A lot of my clients leave a place like Hy-Vee to come work at Athene. Yep. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. For sure. Sure. Yeah. Reach out. Let me know what you want from me. Yeah. 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 Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, great question. So, I mean, it's greatly varies upon the individual, right? Not every single client that I work with has the support of Iowa Vocational Rehabilitation Services. Not every client that I meet through Iowa Vocational Rehabilitation Services then transfers them over to me. That is really going to be specific to your your voc rehab counselor and to the person that's being supported. It's a fluid process. It's not like set in stone, step by step. Do this, do this, do this, do this. Yeah, great question. Great question. So specific to my program at Athene, I mean, you have my information. If you are interested, if you know someone who's interested in working in the insurance industry, obviously reach out to me. I have a long wait list of more people than I know what to do with, which is why I'm really interested in expanding, right? Not everybody needs to go to work at Athene. Not everyone's going to be a good fit for Athene, right? There are plenty of employers around here, right? Again, I'll say one more time, I've got more people than I know what to do with. So reach out to me if you have an interest. I'm very direct. I'm very blunt. I'm very transparent. I'm going to tell you exactly what job you're signing up for. You don't have to ever worry about that. I'm not going to mislead you in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to tell you exactly what the job is like and what what skill set is needed for it. Yeah, it could. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, if you are receiving Medicaid of some kind, that is also possible. Yep, yep, yep. WellPoint and Iowa Total Care. I know people there. I talk to them very often as well. Yep, 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 yep. Um, I'm just gonna laugh a little bit. I was supposed to develop an hour-long script, and I did. And I knew I wasn't gonna get through it. We got through 15 minutes of my hour-long script. So, but that's what I wanted. I wanted you to ask me questions. Yes, I want you to walk away with more questions than you have answers to. So if you want to continue following up with me and you want to know the rest of what I have, I mean, please feel free to reach out and all of that. I will do my best to answer all of your questions and at least point you in the right direction if I can't do something. Long story short, Athene and I have been partnering for the last 2 years. We have a total of 16 employees that we've hired mutually together. I found all of these individuals out in the community. I performed the job interview. Athene helped me figure out how are we going to train these individuals. It's a very immersive process, split between working in a classroom and spending time working in a cubicle. I promise people you're going to know what this job feels like, even from a classroom setting. I want you to know exactly what you're signing yourself up for. Because if you don't like it, I want you to walk away on your own terms and say, yeah, this isn't for me, right? 11 employees working in customer service jobs, 5 working in IT jobs. My next cohort, we like to hire in cohorts, is undetermined at this point when that's going to be. Not sure if that's going to be later this year, not sure if that's going to be early next year. You are welcome to reach out to me and I will keep your contact information. Yeah, cohort. I just mean that we hire people in batches so that they're all starting on the same day, getting the same amount of instruction, same amount of support from the same people. It just makes for a really smooth process as opposed to hiring one person at a time. Absolutely, absolutely. I talk about those things right from the beginning. Yep, yep. I get those things set in stone before the first day even takes place, right? So, is it time? Okay. Thank you, everybody.